Welcome to Animated Tops and Flops, where we dive into the best and worst episodes of your favorite animated series. My name is Alyssa.
And my name is Janice. We are voice actors with a passion for animation. Join us as we tour Springfield and as we continue our discussion of The Simpsons. On this episode, we are going to be discussing our top with a 9-point rating, Season 6, Episode 12, Homer the Great.
And we will be discussing the flop, which has a 5.9 rating, Season 28, Episode 10, The Nightmare After Krustmas. Okay, Janice, Homer the Great.
Yes.
Give us a Cliff Notes version of this episode.
Oh, to give the Cliff Notes version. Thank God I have them written down. So, it's a great episode. So the episode opens with a leaky pipe that is flooding in the Simpsons' home. And Homer goes off to work. After getting stuck in traffic, he ends up all the way at the back of the parking lot for the power plant. And he notices that Lenny and Carl have a really nice spot. And then he goes into work, his chair breaks, and he notices that Lenny and Carl have really nice chairs. And then he wants a snack from the vending machine, and he realizes that Lenny and Carl get special privileges. So he finally asks, how you doing this? How do I get in? And Lenny keeps saying, shh, it's a secret. And Carl's trying to give it away, obviously, and he ends up stalking Lenny and Carl to the secret society of the Stonecutters. So the Stonecutters Society is just this big boys club of all the men in town except for Homer. And Homer falls through the roof and ends up joining because he finds out that Grandpa Simpson has a membership. So by default, he gets a membership as well. And the episode is just about Homer, finally being a part of the boys club. And he was never really a part of the boys club growing up. But yeah, Homer ends up ruining it and defiles their sacred document. And they try to kick him out of the Stonecutters, but Homer has the birthmark of a stonecutter symbol on his behind, as they notice as he is taking his walk of shame. And he is the chosen one. So he then becomes the number one and the leader of the cult or society. Oops, Freudian slip. I don't know. Who knows? So he becomes the head of this group, and he gets really annoyed that everyone's playing up to him, befriending him, and he's like, why are you letting me win all the time? He just kind of gets sick of being number one. And yeah, the Stonecutters original number one ends up just completely starting a new society because they're all like, yeah, screw Homer. So he is kicked out of another boys club, and they start the No Homers Club. Homer misses his club, but finds out he has a club that will never get rid of him, which is his family.
Aww.
Aww. Cute, but also Homer. I wouldn't want to hang out with Homer either. I'm sorry.
Aww.
Alyssa.
Yes.
Can you tell us about the directors and the writers of this episode?
I would love to. The director of this episode is Jim Reardon, and he only ever really directed The Simpsons. But he did write some pretty great things for Disney, including the screenplay for WALL-E. And then he wrote the story for Wreck-It Ralph, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Zootopia.
I'm sorry, that's a great resume right there. Go you. Those are some great animated works there.
Those are
They're
good
classics.
stories.
And this was a really great story. It definitely deserves a high rating, but we'll get into that a bit later. But they have that song We Do, and it's really freaking catchy.
It is so catchy. It is so catchy. Speaking of, one of the writers for that song is also the writer for the episode, which is John Swartzwelder. Hopefully I said that correctly.
I believe you.
His only real credits are The Simpsons, but he did write 77 episodes for them, including the song We Do.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Also, we can't go without mentioning that Patrick Stewart plays number one the society head leader of the Stonecutters.
Yes.
And it is noted that Patrick Stewart has said that his guest role is #1 is one of the most distinguished works he's done in America.
Yep.
That's just lovely. That's wholesome.
I wonder if it's still true.
Ooh, that's a good question. Patrick Stewart, could you answer that for us?
Let us
please?
know.
Yeah, just let us know.
Let's give us a quick comments down below.
Right? I mean, animation is so freeing, you know? Like, you
It
really
really
get to
is.
be anything you want. So, Alyssa, what are your overall thoughts of the episode? Do you have favorite one-liners or favorite moments?
As always, I'm going to talk about the chalkboard gag.
Oh, yes.
The chalkboard gag for this episode is adding "just kidding" doesn't make it okay to insult the principal. Which I feel like I could utilize that in my everyday life.
Mhm.
Who of us haven't said something mean to, like, mostly a sibling, right? And then we're like, just kidding. You're not kidding.
Yeah.
You're
There's
not
always
kidding.
a little bit of truth in there.
I think maybe my favorite line is probably it's a secret. Shut up. Just the back and forth with Letty and Carl.
Oh, yeah.
As you were saying in the synopsis, when they were being like, how'd you get that chair? I can't tell you. It's a secret. Shut up.
And the reverse when Homer says it back, too.
Yeah.
To cover because Lenny's gone, and he's like, shut up. Oh, I thought that was great.
That just tickled me. What about you?
I really like the one-liner of, kids can be cruel. We can? Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just thought that was so funny. Bart having that discovery of like, whoa, we can really be cruel? Okay. As if it was like permission. It's great.
I
Absolutely
know.
great.
It really resembles kids taking things in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because that's one of those sentences that could be taken in two different directions. And they do it, and it pays off.
Oh, yeah.
I paused very, very specifically over Homer's revenge list. So I could write down all of his revenges.
Oh my God. You wrote them all down?
I wrote them all down.
Girl, read that to us.
Okay. So from top to bottom, it goes Bill of Rights, Grandpa, Fat-Free Lard, Gravity, Emmys, Darwin, H2O, Billy Crystal, God, Solo Flex, The Boy, and Stern Lecture Plumbing, which is a plumbing company from the beginning of the episode.
What do you think of that list? It's, pretty random.
I get it. I get Gravity and Darwin.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably make a case for all of these.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting. Like, how did all of these, especially like Billy Crystal, like, what did he do to Homer?
I think there was an episode somewhere with Billy Crystal in it, but I just can't. I can't put my finger on it. There's so many episodes.
That would be such a great callback.
What are some things that stuck out to you in this episode?
I think, the thing that stuck out the most in this episode is the song We Do.
Yeah.
Because it's so catchy and it's so iconic. And I barely remembered this episode as I was watching it until they got to We Do. And, like, something just triggered in my brain. And I was like, I remember.
See, I had that same moment of realization where they said, it says no Homers allowed. And then the Homer pops his head out going, yeah. It's just like those little things that it's like, oh, yeah, I remember that, And I think that's what's so great about The Simpsons is that they have so many gags. Like, you could easily be triggered by hearing something and thinking, oh, that was on The Simpsons. Like, or, oh, I remember that from somewhere.
There's a couple couch gags that I remember very vividly as well. And those actually come up later, so I'm not going to get into them. But
oh, yeah,
it's the little things from especially the older seasons that just retain in your memory. Like pop songs of artists that you don't like, but somehow you know all the words.
Yeah. Oh, I get that. So do you think this deserves to be up here? Do you think it deserves to be a solid 9?
Oh, I think it could be higher.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I think this episode holds up well today. Like, it's very family positive, and it does still have great satirical uh, weight around, like, clubs and fraternities and sororities and all that, and a little bit on cults.
Yes,
um,
very much on cults.
yeah, yeah. But I don't think it belongs in this top 13, though.
Really?
Yeah. I
Ooh,
mean, it's iconic. It's an iconic episode, but I don't think like the IMDb. So, for all of our listeners here who are newer, and as we are new in this podcast, we have chosen these 13 top rated episodes from the IMDb ratings chart.
Mhm.
And so this is purely based off of viewers' reviews and views of the actual episodes. So, I just think there are other iconic episodes that deserve to be up here. And I have in my notes here that I would put Bart's Girlfriend up here or
Mm.
Mount Madness.
Oh,
Because those weren't even in the top like 13 episodes. And I'm sorry, nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all lives in everyone's heads rent free. And that's a really good episode too. So I'm just like, I don't understand why those weren't up there.
I don't think I could have said what the episode title was until you said it.
Oh yeah, because
It
so
just like
when we made a chart, right, of like an Excel sheet, and we're writing our notes in here separately, watching the episodes not together and whatnot. And sometimes I just love The Simpsons, so I'll let it run, right? Like it'll just run on Disney Plus, and I'll be like, oh,
Mhm.
I could go for a couple more episodes, I could do some work and pay attention here or there. And that episode came up of Mount Madness, and I was like, wait a second, is that on our list? And it was nowhere on our list. I was like, okay, I don't know. And then Bart's Girlfriend, which Bart's girlfriend is Mr. Lovejoy's daughter, who is played by Meryl Streep, I thought was such a good episode.
Mm.
And yeah, I'll leave it there. That's my little mic
Just
drop
drop
there.
that mic.
Yeah.
Drop it. I think that this is a great episode, and I think that it's written great. The song is catchy. There's just so many stupid moments.
There's some great stupid
Oh
moments.
my god, it's like at the very beginning where like there's a bunch of traffic, and Homer's like, let's listen to the radio, and the traffic copters like
Yeah.
oh, there's a huge traffic. It's like because of them, because they had crashed, and so
Yeah.
I don't know, I just was not expecting that to happen, and it
As
just
far as my eyes can see.
right, and it just got me immediately, and I'm like, pulled me in. I'm here. Here we go.
I loved the stone of shame, and then the stone of victory was even bigger than the stone of shame. It was like brilliant, just brilliant. Okay, you've actually kind of convinced me. Like, I think this one could possibly stay. So, for the viewers and listeners out there, we are doing a bracket, and we will be pitting these episodes against each other soon.
Mhm.
So, look out on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube for that. Just, get on the socials and get on the polls and let us know which ones do you think outweigh these other episodes that they're pitted against. And at the end, we'll do the best episode ever as the result for our winner. And we'll do the same with the flops as well. The worst episode ever.
Thank you, comic
So-
book guy.
Welcome. Welcome. I love Comic Book Guy. We don't get enough of him either.
It's really true. I haven't seen him in any of these episodes so far, I don't think.
Yeah. Definitely not in these tops and not in the flops.
Oh, that means he's like a solid middleman.
Yeah. But Chief Wiggum, I mean, we get some good episodes with him.
That man.
We love Wiggum.
I love him. Any last parting words on our top of the evening?
Oh, okay. Yes. Actually, I do. Discovery. So this episode was solely focused around Homer. We had no subplots. It was just about Homer.
Really?
Yeah. No subplots. Just Homer.
Interesting. I did not catch that at all.
Yeah. because as you know, writing the notes and everything for our episodes and whatnot, I just realized like there's always like a subplot, and then as we get
Mm-hmm.
into like the flops, there's multiple subplots, which kind of muddies the storytelling in some of these episodes, which is my note for the next one coming up. Uh, but yeah, it's just it stands. I mean, Homer is an interesting enough character. We can, I mean, we have the Simpsons movie that follows
Yes.
Homer. You know, like there is plenty to do with Homer, and it's a great episode. But I noticed that.
That's hilarious. I didn't, which I would say that that's a good thing because that means that I didn't need a subplot. I
Yeah,
enjoyed the main plot so much that I was hooked.
yeah,
I think that episode would be ruined with the subplot.
I think so too. And that kind of says something about the writers who wrote this episode, right? And
Mm-hmm.
with the stories they went on to tell afterwards. I mean, they're all very good stories.
Yeah. They didn't need a subplot.
No, they're the main
Aw.
character.
Oh.
But yeah, good on you.
All right, we're going to move on to our flop, which is The Nightmare After Krustmas.
Wah,
Janice,
wah.
at a 5.9, can you give us a synopsis of the episode?
A little synopsis of this episode. The episode starts with a divine intervention for Reverend Lovejoy because not enough butts are in the pews, and is told by his peers to convert some souls because he's a bit behind. A pagan festival is going on in town when Krusty is attacked and injured by a Dutch sculpture that is powered by the wind, which exposes the differences between Krusty and his daughter when they are in the hospital. They have some talk, and he's like, "You're not Jewish enough," and it's just, as a Jewish woman myself, you know, it's a thing. Listeners can take that as they need. So they have some differences between them, which are exposed while Krusty was brutally injured and is in the hospital, where he is told by his daughter that she doesn't practice Judaism. And Marge invites them over to celebrate for the holidays because, you know, Christianity all about giving, and especially during this time, during the holidays, it's, you know, it's nice to invite people in. However, Krusty makes it a production, and literally a production, brings a camera crew and everything, and makes it all about himself. And it really ruins things for his daughter. So he and Lovejoy end up at Moe's Tavern, drinking their woes, and Lovejoy sees an opportunity to convert Krusty. So what happens after that is he is baptized in the frozen river and nearly drowns and sees his father's spirit, which is a funny little satirical, you know, parody of Frozen. I just thought that was a cute little shout out for like the time. It was random, but it was really cute. I was like, oh, and because he's dying, so that makes sense. Uh, but yeah, Krusty is enlightened after that near death experience, and his father's spirit uh, convinces him to think about his children over himself. Krusty then goes back to his Jewish roots and everything because during the episode he also ruined the Krusty show by trying to make it the pious Mouse and Cat, which I thought was a funny call out. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. It ended on a sweet note. Alyssa, would you like to talk to us about the writers and directors for this episode?
Director for this episode is Rob Oliver. Rob has not any really real credits. It's all Simpsons credits. I believe he also worked on the movie. And the writer of this episode is Jeff Westbrook, who pretty much only did this, but then also wrote 34 episodes of Futurama.
Ooh,
Yes,
we love Futurama.
we love Futurama.
I mean, it's good.
It's very good. This episode was also aired on December 11th, 2016, so it is one of the newer episodes.
Oh, interesting. Because this episode is very like religion focused. What are your thoughts on that?
As someone who's not religious at all, I guess I'm indifferent. I think because it was somewhat making fun of pretty much all religions, I kind of got a kick out of it. I love that they added the paganism into it because, like, if there is any type of religion that I am intrigued by, it is paganism,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess is basically just like Catholic, but, Christianity, they stole it. Anyway, whatever. I'm never upset if I see any type of, like, religion or religious type stuff being thrown into episodes because, like, that is a part of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm never going to, like, force my non-religion onto anybody, just like I hope nobody would force their religion onto me. So, like, learning about it, even in a satirical atmosphere as The Simpsons, I'm still learning about it and I'm still understanding it. And I kind of really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What do you think? Because you are Jewish. You are half Jewish, right?
Yes, I have a very interesting religious upbringing. So, my dad is Catholic and my mom is Jewish. And I was raised in a household where we celebrated everything but practiced nothing. So, my education on Judaism and Catholicism is very, very late. I can't tell you Bible stories. I can't cite Psalms. I don't know anything. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and same with, being Jewish as well, like it's very difficult for me to be able to articulate exactly how I feel about religion still, but at the same time, I'm not mad about it. I go off my own moral compass based off of what's right and what's wrong and off of ethics.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't call myself an atheist per se or agnostic. I mean, I respect both of my parents' religions and their upbringings and how they raised me. I think I turned out okay. Like, I think I'm fine.
I think you're great.
Yeah, like, I don't think I'm morally corrupt in any way like that.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, for this episode, like, I found some of the digs at Judaism to be a little like, I don't know. I didn't hate this episode. Like, I thought it was funny, And I wasn't too offended either. It was that right amount of satirical where you're like not too offended or too unoffended. I think it hit just a right spot, honestly. And I don't think it needed to be rated as low as it was.
I disagree.
Ooh.
I
Tell us why.
felt that this episode was very much like a modge podge of different ideas thrown together. And it was hard to keep track of like what the actual episode was about because there were so many different things coming at you at once.
Okay, you actually bring up a really great point, and I retract my statement because I was like completely like focused on just the religious aspect of it, but now that you bring that up, I'm remembering the subplots. And my God, so we just talked about Homer the Great, where it was just focused on Homer, and it was such great storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
This was too split between Lovejoy and Krusty, and it just didn't mesh that well.
No.
Like, even though it's under the religious umbrella and they're both trying to do their different things, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have that like family aspect of it of like, oh, you just have to put your children first and stop being so selfish. Like, it's a lot of things in one. It's a lot. And then you have that subplot of, because I mean, let's be honest, there's really no main plot. It's two subplots and then a subplot
Yep.
of Maggie destroying.
The
What did they
elf
call
on
it? The gnome in the home?
No.
Gnome in the home. I thought, okay, that subplot though was gold.
Accurate.
It was great.
That was the best part of this whole episode.
That's the saving grace of this episode.
Because also, same, terrifying. If I was Maggie, I would also have nightmares and eventually just destroy the crap out of it because that is any type of like doll, porcelain, or otherwise staring at you all night. Pass.
My mom loved these like porcelain dolls with these like crocheted dresses on them. It was a big thing, and we had a bunch of them. And I was always really creeped out by it, especially after they made me watch Chucky.
Yes, haunted.
Traumatized. Locked my American Girl doll, poor Josephine, in a drawer and did not move her until I moved to college.
I had Josephine too.
Oh, no way! I thought she was the best. Josephine was like literally the best.
I thought she was the
American
best
Girl.
too.
I liked her story too.
Right?
The books were good.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sidetracked. But it's easy to get sidetracked on this episode because it was just so random.
It was sidetracked in itself.
Okay, can we talk about how Natasha Lyonne
Yes, please bring that up.
played Krusty's daughter? First of all, she replaced Drew Barrymore,
Mhm.
who played Krusty's daughter back in the day. I did not like her voice.
Oh my God. Okay.
What was she doing? I think that was poor direction. I'm sorry.
Dude,
I think that was poor
I
direction.
have it written down. I said,
Shut up, really?
I said, so it was direction then because Natasha Lyonne is amazing.
She's a goddess.
Oh, and
She is talent divine. Like,
yes, I'm so
I was
glad
like,
we had the same- Okay, that makes me so happy because I know a lot of people who watch episodes like this are like, wow, that actor is horrible. But it's like,
no, she's
it's a lot of the times it's not the actor, it's the direction, and a lot of people don't get that unless you work in the industry.
Yeah.
And so good. I was like,
They did her wrong.
They
like,
did her so dirty.
Could you imagine her like natural rusty voice just like kind of in there? Like
Perfect.
it matches perfectly.
I do know that she quit smoking at some point, and her voice actually did change very drastically. I don't know if that was around this time, though. I thought it was later.
Ooh.
Yeah, so her voice
okay.
sounds so different now than it did during Orange is the New Black. It had to be the direction because the way that she brought this character to life felt so lazy.
Mhm.
And almost like she was just kind of reading off of a script as opposed to like acting from a script, which we
Yeah.
know is incorrect because we've all seen Natasha Lyonne like fucking
She's
kill it.
incredible.
And that really bothered me because I'm like, who told her to do absolutely nothing? It's not
Mhm.
working.
It was such a drag in the episode, and I hate to say that because I love her.
I know. Any last thoughts, prayers?
No, I mean, honestly, I think this deserves to be where it's at. I know I went full circle in like the matter of 15 minutes. Like, oh, this, no, this, no, this, no, this. It's like, I don't know. That's life sometimes. Like, sometimes you forget. You get so focused. And then you're like, oh no, that actually
Hey,
did
your opinions
flop.
can change from like other people, but then just talking,
They can.
you can change your own mind.
That's true. That's so true.
So like,
this is why I love podcasts.
Right? Like, don't apologize for like having one opinion and then like listening to other people and yourself speak on it and then change your opinion. Like that is totally okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't.
Good.
So, do you, the audience, agree or disagree with these IMDb ratings? Do you disagree with us? Let us know in the comments, and we are going to start pitching these episodes against each other on a bracket. Make sure you look at our Instagram, TikTok. I believe the polls are going to be on Instagram, so go there. Tell us, like, just lay it out. Like, lay it out. Let us know how you feel, and we'll take that into account when we do our bracket, and we'll see what wins, and hopefully we'll get some good episodes up there and put the flops where they belong.
Yes.
Also, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube so you get some alerts on when we post new episodes.
And if you would prefer just to listen to our lovely voices, we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. All right, so next week, if you're still tuned in with us, and we hope that you are, we are going to be talking about Homer Badman as our top and another Simpsons clip show as our flop.
All right, smell you later.